You know, it's interesting though, what you're saying to me resonates a lot, because I went to a girls' school in Melbourne, and I went back. They asked me to come talk to the Year 12 students who were obviously about to leave. And I talked to them about the fact that I always had this dream. I always had, you know...
What was your dream?
To work in entertainment. Like from age 4, I watched The Wizard of Oz and I was like, I didn't know exactly what. Like, I did acting for a long period of time, and then I knew it was kind of entertainment media. And, you know, you go off path as I did and work in corporates, in marketing, but I never lost the whisper. Right? What I knew was that little fire inside of me. And then when I got there, I was like, this is home. Like, this feels right. And I feel that's kind of, I mean, your path is probably a lot more straightforward, but I feel there's something in it for kids to realise, or anyone out there, that if they have a dream, even if it seems like there's no way I could achieve that, maybe there is. You know, like you're sitting here and you did. You know, would you have ever thought that you could achieve this? Yes, you did. There was a part of you that thought you did, thought you could. And the same with me. There was times where I thought, oh, maybe not. But mostly it was like, no, keep on going, just follow it. And there can be sometimes dead ends and you have to turn. But I feel like everyone should try and take those steps forward to try and fulfill the path that is going to fulfill them as well.
I feel like people stop too easy these days.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe not seeing things through as they should, or embracing the hard moments, because I feel like my majority of my whole career has been just like, it's not a sap story, but I just feel like it's been hard. Like I've always felt like I've had to sacrifice more to find success. Yeah. For example, you know, moving away from my family at 13, like I felt, you know, and sometimes I hear stories about, you know, people traveling, going interstate, and I'm just like, I would have loved to have gone interstate because it's an hour away from my family. I could have gone back, but I was traveling away at 13 and my family was at 15-hour flight. Like there was no going. I couldn't just go home when I was upset. So I had to end up building a very hardness, like a real resilience. But back to your point before, speaking about school kids, and I guess it leans into this book and Multiverse the Big Scary, is when it was an incredible opportunity, but I went to the Olympics when I was 15. I was in grade 9. And before that, I got offered the opportunity to go to the Olympics. And I went from being like one of the better juniors in the world. That's how I got the opportunity to go to the games, like with the Australian team. They let me go and compete for Australia. And basically I completely, I like bonked. Like I was terrible. Like I didn't show up. I wasn't this like prodigy kid anymore. I started to grow. I hit puberty. I started to care what people thought of me. I got taller. Like things didn't happen. Like the natural ability disappeared. So anyway, I've gone into this complete, you know, breakdown, I guess, that my life was over. You know, 15, you think your life's over. It's a lot more life. Also, that was me then. My sport and my environment completely defined me. And then I kind of came home. I remember vividly, I came home from a trip and I didn't do very well. And I just like cried to my mum for about, I don't know, felt like all day. It was a couple of hours. And I said to my mum, I'm quitting. I'm done. Like I can't do it anymore. I just feel like I'm letting everyone down, blah, blah, blah. So when I reflect on it now, I'm like, I'm happy it happened because I realize now how amazing it is, like the opportunity to get to do what I love. Firstly, not many people really get to do their passions in life. So I'm very grateful for that. But also, I realized that I'd completely lost the love for something that I enjoyed, which was snowboarding and going out there and competing and the adrenaline and my friends and my family and the whole bit. So I lost all of that just because of the Olympic Games. Like that was it. Like the Olympics almost ended my career. Really? As well as it's probably made it in some cases because
the pressure
because it was such a big deal for me at 15 to go. This narrative had been created as me young. So because I wasn't going to make it, I actually never really said it like that. Like the Olympics pretty much ended my career for however long. Unfortunately, again, back to my family, the foundation, I got one more chance to go and qualify. And it sounds so silly to say it now, but I didn't understand. I was so young at the time. I said, you got one more chance, go to Canada, go to Quebec and compete in the last World Cup. And, you know, if you get top 15, you can go to the Olympics. And I said, no, I'm not going. I quit. I'm out. Like I fully checked out. And then my brother, Tim, who you mentioned earlier, who's now my manager, he drove. I was in Shepparton. He drove whatever it was, 3 hours, and he came up and he was like...
How old was he?
Tim would have been 19.
Oh, God.
And he said, like, come on, let's go. Give it one more shot. And I went and I made it. And here I am.
Wow.
So I had like a pretty, you know, in terms of hardship stories, that's like nothing. People go through some incredible things. But yeah, you know, I've been through my go through and other people go through theirs. And yeah, no, it was an amazing realization that of when I realized like, wow, I stopped snowboarding and doing what I love for the wrong reasons. I was getting a lot of pressure, and so that was a big milestone in my career where I still reflect on it today, that I don't want to do that. Like I've got to, and it's kept me very honest to make sure that I keep on doing it for the right reasons.
I wonder, when you were crying into your mum's arms, what did she say to you?
My mum, I think she just said, okay. Like she just saw how like sad I was.
Must have broken her heart.
Yeah, she was devastated because I think the hard thing with my family is because they knew that I could do it.
Yeah.
And everyone knew I could do it, and I just struggled for so long that I just didn't think I could anymore. So I went from being 13, this prodigy, you know, this amazing, you know, thing, like, you know, people talked about what I was going to do and all this stuff, to the next year, 14 you start in men's category in snowboarding. So I've gone 13 and then 14, I'm back to the bottom of the pile. And yeah, that was a hard realization. So maybe I just wasn't prepared for that, whatever reason. But yeah, probably what broke my parents' heart the most was that they knew that I could do it. So, but we'd obviously exhausted so many different ways to try and figure it out that eventually, you know, fortunately it took my brother to come and pick me up, as family do, and we went over to Canada. And I remember it so vividly. Like I just had fun for the first time in a while. Like, and that was it. That's a good reminder.
Listener.